For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
The government of St. Lucia is seeking your input regarding a minimum wage. But it is already saying that the new minimum wage will increase the salaries of nearly 13,000 St. Lucians. We will discuss during the course of the broadcast. We also have a public service announcement from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. And who is screwing up everything? Welcome to another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. We are also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the YouTube channel of the broadcast. Your calls in a bit at 452-2979. WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Kimani will still be off camera, but she'll be going through some of your comments in the chat room. Hope you had yourself an enjoyable and safe weekend. And you prayed for it. God answered your prayers. We had lots of rain from Saturday as well as yesterday. And we just hope that many of you have been complaining about the lack of the precious resource would have conserved some water, and the same goes for the Water and Sewerage Authority. So the new minimum wage will increase the salaries of nearly 13,000 St. Lucians, and that's according to a press release from the office of the Prime Minister. In that release, the government is also saying before the minimum and livable wage bill takes effect on August the 1st, 2024, the government wants your input, and the public is encouraged to provide feedback to the Commission in writing no later than June the 6th of 2024. At the following address, the Chairperson, Minimum and Equal Wages Commission, Department of Labor, Barnard Hill, Castries. I wonder if the government is jumping the gun on this, because it is seeking your input regarding a minimum wage. What is being proposed is $6.50. So one can definitely reason that there has not been a set amount regarding a minimum wage. So why put out a press release saying this, stressing that you want to get input from the St. Lucian public, but yet still you are saying that the first ever legislative minimum wage would ensure that St. Lucian employees are paid no less than $1,126 monthly, $52 daily, or $6.50 hourly. So for me, the government should have waited a bit before issuing that press release and making reference to the monthly salary of $1,126 and $6.50 an hour, because you're getting a sense that yes, there's some people who are saying half a loaf is better than none. Another set of people are arguing that there's need for a minimum wage of at least $9 to $10. That seems to be the minimum in most of the territories, but in Trinidad and Tobago you have a minimum wage of $20 an hour. So the government maybe should have waited before even issuing that press release. But let me read the press release in its entirety. St. Lucia is on the verge of implementing a historic minimum wage. The government is taking concrete action to end employee exploitation and make the St. Lucian job market more equitable for working class citizens by instituting a minimum wage. Prime Minister Pierre and his cabinet of ministers are determined to improve the standard of living of working class St. Lucians. A new Minimum and Equal Wages Commission was established under Prime Minister Pierre in 2022. The commission, local employers and labor unions held extensive consultations to determine a proposed minimum wage rate. The first ever legislated minimum wage would ensure the St. Lucian employees are paid no less than $1,126 monthly, $52 or $6.50 hourly. The new minimum wage will increase the salaries of nearly 13,000 people. The newly proposed minimum wage is the first in a series of strategic policy actions to lift more St. Lucians out of poverty, strengthen the workforce, and ensure our citizens can attain a dignified standard of living. Before the minimum and living wage bill takes effect on August the 1st, 2024, the government wants your input. The public is encouraged to provide feedback to the Commission in writing no later than June the 6th of 2024 at the following address, which I made reference to earlier on. But St. Lucia should, well, you've been keeping quiet on so many things in St. Lucia, but this one certainly is one that warrants your input, your recommendations. You are the ones who are being impacted, and you are the ones who have been clamoring for decades now for a minimum wage to be put into effect. It certainly would not be to your benefit if you keep quiet on it and the government decides to implement this $6.50 an hour, and later you know what will happen. Those of you who are dissatisfied will flood this broadcast with your calls and complaining about the $6.50 rate. So we hope that everyone, and in particular the trade unions, maybe they can make representation on behalf of not only their members but the workers of St. Lucia, because there are a number of people, unfortunately, who are not represented by a trade union, and somebody certainly would, or interest group, would have to make some kind of representation on their behalf, because the business people, you have the St. Lucia Employers Federation representing their interest. You also have the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce representing the interest of their members, and definitely you have the ordinary folks, domestic workers, people working in the retail sector. You do not have any kind of representation. So we cannot leave it to those defenseless people. Certainly the various entities like the trade unions, maybe the National Workers Union and others would have to intercede on behalf of people. The other thing you have to take into consideration is that it seems inevitable that some businesses will increase the cost of their services and goods. They would pass on that cost to consumers. And that will include you. You're already receiving a paltry salary, and you'll be getting the $6.50. That $6.50 definitely you will have to dish it out again in the form of meeting certain increases for certain items. And we know how effective the Department of Consumer Affairs is in terms of ensuring that it pays attention to the cost of goods and services, and ensuring that those are just not figures that various business establishments would just decide on their own to impose on members of the public, and sometimes they do so surreptitiously. So I don't know. It's a case where I think in some instances, people are just at a disadvantage, and no matter what, the system has been set up in a way to ensure that certain individuals remain below the poverty line or become the poorest of the poor, because somehow their interest would not be represented. Can you imagine any government minister right now taking to the airwaves or taking to the television to say $6.50 is just not enough? When you take inflation into consideration, not that should be an issue, but also when you consider people, single-parent households, etc., who have 3 and 4 children. I do not believe that you should pay people a decent, livable wage primarily because they have kids. No. It is what that is warranted for the value has been put on the service that you are providing. Because if it's one thing employers stand out for, is that they tell you that they have a business and they must make a profit. All right, and they're always looking at a particular figure. All right, they make their own forecast and so on. So workers, they must take their talents seriously, because definitely in most instances they are giving 100%. So take your work seriously, take yourself seriously, and demand from the employer a salary that is reasonable. It cannot be hand to mouth. Let us hear from an individual who says that as much as efforts are being made to ensure that you get a minimum wage of $6.50. Well, other people, they have all kind of allowances. Not even talking about their salaries, but their allowances.
We have used each other to work for us underpay. Presently, Philip JP is doing it. You understand? He's a black massa, because you cannot tell me in 2024 when Philip JP, everything was on the shelf all over the Caribbean, minimum wage is $10 over $10. You understand? And in St. Lucia, you have no shame, you have no pride, Philip JP. You want to give people $6.50 minimum wage? Huh? So, when they're calling Shaftney master, when they're calling Shaftney slave master, is y'all like the slave masters, Rasta? Is y'all? Y'all can look down on black man, a black community, a black nation, and put minimum wage $6.50. Huh? You know that is slavery, economical slavery that there, Rasta. Huh? You think slavery is going on the field, planting cane, planting cotton, digging holes, doing that? Economical slavery too. You can create Shasney house slave. You can create Shasney massa. You can create Kenny house slave. You can create Kenny massa. Be you. Black man. St. Lucia workers, watch y'all. Little slaves. The boss say he going to give $6.50 an hour. Hey! Our boss put the money on it first. Huh? Shameless.
The one and only Appa. What say you, Senator Calix George, or former Senator Calix George Sr.? That's right on your alley. Talking about house slaves and slave masters. What say you to this, sir? If you're listening, I know you normally listen to this broadcast, you monitor, you might want to call. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. And Kimani will be going through some of your comments in the chat room. I already have a WhatsApp message which reads, gas price adjustment is in and still no change. 2 years now, we're over $15 a gallon. And let's see if we have some more of your messages to go through. We have some messages from last week. I might just go through some of them. But in the meantime, don't know, Kimani, if you have any comments in the chat room. As I say, good afternoon to you. Unfortunately, still a photograph and your camera is not working. So many people can't see the real Kimani in studio right now. But feast your eyes and just listen to the voice. Kimani.
And good afternoon, Tim. In the chat room, someone says they should take some money from the MPs and put towards a minimum wage. Another comment, then they will jack up the price of their goods. Tim, $6.50 is still exploitation. Someone says, hasn't that bill been gazetted? So why is now he is asking for inputs? Another comment, $6.50, it's a good thing I'm retired because I would rather stay home than go work in any bakery or gas station for that amount. Another comment in the chat, Tim, someone says tax on NIC has already taken all that $6.50. Tim, whilst at it, can you please investigate for us who is the current communications officer within the Ministry of Infrastructure? Another comment, Tim, we don't want to hear anything from Calix. That's it in the chat.
Somebody says there, so Tim, you're saying Calix George Sr. not listening to his son's show? Yeah, he's not listening. He prefers NewsSpin. All right, let's see if you have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, Tim, do we know what the lowest paid rate was to be exact to see what exactly the increase is? Need to look into this. I think the average pay would have been maybe about $500 a month. Let's see if you have a WhatsApp message. Somebody says most small shops and bakeries in communities sell price-controlled goods, so their hands are tied as prices cannot be increased to cover increased minimum wage. This will lead to closure of shops, hurting the small man once again. That is why there needs to be consultation on this involving the various players. Everyone should be on board and should get an opportunity to have the say and to make recommendations. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message. Somebody says there, remember a minister saying 2 bears for a gallon of water, $6.50 can't even buy a Heineken. And some more of your messages. Somebody says there, via WhatsApp, busted Wasco pipe by the brewery on Saturday evening. Yes, I saw some of those videos, very painful to watch because so many of you have been without water for a very long time. I imagine that Wasco would have worked on this already. 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller.
You know, rainfall team, we still don't have water in the pipe. That's in the south.
Mm-hmm.
And our problem there is that once I don't know the way they design the catchment. Once it is raining, the river come down, it goes with that. Whatever piece of pipe they put into that thing, it goes with that. So it's raining now. We have not had water, well, for 3 days now, ever since the drought and the rainy season started. So the only way we could collect water is through through the gutter, on the roof. And it's raining and we don't have water. So when it's raining, we don't have water. When it's drought, we don't have water. Anyway, that's another show. Team, I agree. I don't know if there was consultation with stakeholders, especially those that are person working for them before the government. But the government already tell you $6.50. And look now, he inviting persons for a meeting. So I really don't know what kind of confusion is that. I mean, if you already know that's what you put, although some people call it a little soulagement, but $6.50, I really don't see what much it can do. At least it's a little different, but not that, because things are so, to go to the supermarket right now at Massey, you see you have a few nylon in your hand, something about $400 groceries, a few nylon, and there's nothing in that, Price of everything from cooking gas, fuel for your vehicle, all of that is up. If you come in with something at least let's look at about $10 and $9. But you're talking about $6.50. You even have some other persons that are having people working for them already complain, and they're complaining. They are complaining right now. They cannot afford to pay that. So far less, you know. I mean, I thought the government would have come out with something different. Although, don't believe that is
but caller,
something
the authorities must start somewhere. So they're starting at $6.50. I imagine that the business community and also the affected workers, through their representatives, will, make their own suggestions.
Well, that is true. But they have a few guys that are working into the town council, and working the garbage truck. Sorry, those are working in the garbage truck. I was surprised, and I did my investigation. The guys are getting $40 a day, Tim. $40 a day to be behind that thing, and they have no protection. They don't have a mask in their face. And this thing, sometimes when you drive the road and you see that thing in front of you, you have to try your best to see you overtake that because of the smell, And the guys are behind that thing, Tim. You have never seen them?
Yes, I've seen them, yes.
With no protection, nothing. And then, Tim, when I did, and I'm not going to mention name, but I know a prominent person, a businessman, having these guys working around that for $40. And it's not even 40, the fellow tell me, when they take that, it's $48 a day. And I thought these people should have a better salary working in that thing. I mean, the guys everything you can think of, the fellas that have to face that with nothing. I even see fellas with a sleeveless t-shirt with no mask doing that.
Because under the labor code, they would qualify to get at least $52.
Well, they will get something different, but let us not, and the way that thing come up, let's be careful with that, That is another tactics, with that thing. The government just cannot come with. I mean, they come with that. That is not something you're going to get right away, and not even every St. Lucian that will get that. So they must be mindful. I have people start boasting that and boast the administration. That's another tactics for election. If I'm not that stupid, that is a technique.
Tactic or not, a minimum wage is long overdue. Okay, you need to have a set standard, a set form of payment, at least to start at the minimum, so that people are not abused and taken advantage of. So I really don't care whether it's a tactic or not. The people will benefit, those who have been receiving meager salaries.
So you believe that's in the pipeline?
I'm just saying to you, I don't even care if it's a tactic, a political tactic. I'm just looking at the benefit of it for the people, those who have been affected for so long.
I know. They have a lot of people that have been affected for so long. I mean, if they got it, I'm quite happy with that. Although we are told that is not a fix, an ASAP thing. It has to take a while before them. I mean, you have persons already complaining, business person already complaining, everything will be jacked up, and it will just end up with the same rate we used to get before. I mean, $6.50. Those who have person working for them, the price will have to pass to the consumers. We'll have to pay for more. If you put it at $10, then if they bring it up, we will have some room to maneuver. But then for $6.50, by the time you check yourself, $1,000 there, but you have nothing. Anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I just hope that people will be as vigilant as possible, because in Trinidad and Tobago in January, when the minimum wage moved from $17.50 to $20, certain businesses decided that what they would do is to pass on that cost to consumers. And the consumers, realizing this, they rebelled. They agitated. I think there was some form of demonstration in sections of the Trinidadian community. So we hope that many people will be sufficiently vigilant to realize that the employers are passing that cost on to the consumer. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Kimani, any comments in the chat room?
A few comments in the chat. Someone says, cheapest thing in the supermarket these days is onions. The Universal Poverty Income UPI is $5.50 per hour. Adding $1 to that does not decrease poverty level in St. Lucia, which is now 25%. Someone says 14 plus days, some sections of Bonte and the North has not had a drop or spit of chim, far less water. Waiting to see the water bill. Another comment, minimum wage and an hour of work can't buy a gallon of gas. Tim, so people have to work a whole hour to buy a tin of tuna fish? Well, a big tin at that. Tim, please bring awareness to people beating the mentally ill and homeless people in St. Lucia.
WhatsApp message, imagine a small business owner who can barely make $250 in food for the day, plus monthly rental of unit $1,575, electricity $1,200, water $316, and having 3 staff to pay, with a high cost of living to replenish the supplies used daily. How can a small restaurant owner survive? This will cost employers dismissing staff, or this will result in employers dismissing staff.
A YouTube comment, someone says, Tim, I believe that St. Lucian workers should go to Martinique and Guadeloupe to understudy the workers there. Those French militant workers would never accept that minimum wage. That's it.
We have a call via WhatsApp. Good afternoon to you, NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, Timothy.
Good afternoon to you. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Kimani.
Hi, good afternoon.
So, Tim, I have 2 things to mention today. Well, at least off the top of my head. One, Tim, your chat room is becoming too St. Lucian, and I need you to understand where I'm coming from. Every day, Tim, St. Lucian men have this idea in their head that every woman they come across wants to be approached in a sexual manner. Kimani is on your show working. She's working, and there are guys in the chat room making passes at her as if it's something cute. You understand what I mean? And you don't say anything about it.
Man, I don't think I don't think it's personal. I think people just having fun. I mean, come on.
Yeah. You see it as fun, right? But then at the end of the day, the woman receiving it.
I don't think Kimani is offended by that.
I'm not offended, caller. Honestly, it's just a running joke at this point.
Okay, well then 2 may not be, but then it's a common thing that we St. Lucian men do. That whenever we walk into, so me and my friends walk into a grocery store. It's something I see all the time. And as soon as they see a beautiful girl at the grocery store, they start making passes at the girl. You would walk into a restaurant, they start giving unwanted compliments. Women, I need St. Lucian men to understand that women don't go to work to get picked up. Like they go to work to make a living.
No, but caller, there's nothing wrong in paying a compliment to a beautiful, attractive lady. It depends. It depends on your approach, and it depends on the words that you use.
Okay, Tim.
I mean,
if I come here and I pay.
If people say things like, "Oh boy, all that your mother gave you," and that kind of thing, I mean that.
Or the cat calling.
Yeah. That is unacceptable.
That's what is going to lead to soon. You just watch and see.
Okay.
You just watch, because St. Lucian people have the small-minded mentality. When you sit down with St. Lucian people, Tim, 5 things St. Lucian people discuss: sex, violence, drugs, party, and just obia.
Or politics, I thought you would say.
But he said party. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so anyways, Tim, that's one issue I need to get out of the way.
Somebody said in the chat room, hey, caller, you see how beautiful Kimani is? Even me as a woman love seeing her on set.
That is not the point. That is not the point. The point is that I think it's a bit much for every single day, 5 days a week when she comes up, and guys are like, oh yeah, the beautiful Kimani, the pretty Kimani, and pretty much the same people over and over and over and over. It's like, it's annoying. Like, where is the intellectual discourse that's dominating the chat room? How pretty Kimani is?
Caller, the intellectual discourse takes place on the program through the calls.
Well,
all right? And in the chat room, people are just having fun, you know what I mean, and enjoying each other. I mean, I see nothing wrong with the behavior.
I understand having fun, but there's a time and a place. There's time and place. This is like the most serious 1.5 hour we have on the island. Like I I don't really think it's the time and the place for that.
Okay.
You understand what I mean?
All right, caller.
So, anyways, I would like to make some suggestions to Wasco, Tim.
Yeah.
Okay, so we live on an island. I'm willing to bet my bottom dollar that St. Lucia has deep underwater aquifers, because we have springs and so on and so forth. Right? We have natural groundwater. I think this is one way Wasco can help address the water shortages we have during the dog days of summer, when we have the drought. So Wasco should invest in building wells. Wells are not expensive to build in. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
To access the groundwater is not that expensive. You find in many places, many African rural communities in Africa, people go down there and they build wells. That's one way Wasco can help with the water problem we're having now, is to try to access groundwater. The second solution I'm going to make, Timothy, is desalination. So immediately and deliberately right now, we need help from the international community. China probably has ships that can desalinate water. I'm pretty sure of it. Taiwan. We need one of those, or at least two of those. One in the northern part of the country, in the city, and one in the south of it, for the two, and one in Sufretu, the three biggest towns we have, in order to help alleviate the stress. And any government, it doesn't matter, Labour, FLAB, or whoever, needs to build at least 3 desalination plants on the island. You understand what I mean, Tim?
Yeah.
So I think that's going to help with the water problem. But anyways, Tim, that's my contribution today. You and Kimani have yourselves a lovely day, and we shall speak again.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. And I could tell you your initial observations and comments would certainly be taken up in the chat room, because he's dominating the discussion there right now. Kimani, what is happening? What is happening there, Kimani, in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone says, Caller, you're right. They need to pay attention and have serious conversation. You guys have been warned. Another comment, what is this caller's problem? Today he had a bad dream last night. Just so, someone said, caller, I leave you for God.
Another person says, caller, I'm sending you a rosary on behalf of Kimani.
Another comment, caller, don't read our comments. You want to dictate what we say it this way. But it definitely did not go over well in the chat room, the comments by this caller.
All right, 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Somebody is screwing up everything. You'll be hearing all about that in just a moment as we continue with the most monitored talk show in the world. And that is NewsSpin.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tombs. Call us in Vidbuta at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customer support@lucilex.com for assistance. Lucelec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of our secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
44 million fans, 11 players, 1 flow. Bleeding we colors, celebrating we greatness. With every six, every wicket, every moment of glory, we show the world what we made of. Wherever it's played, Flow is proud to be a part of it. Join We Bacchanal. Feel We Energy. This is We Game. Visit discoverflow.co. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
Night Meds is your dependable neighborhood pharmacy. You'll notice that upon entry, you are greeted by caring professional staff, attentive to your every need. Your prescriptions are always treated with a high degree of confidentiality, and we pride ourselves on providing speedy, efficient service. We carry a wide array commonly requested over-the-counter products, and our prices are very competitive. We offer blood pressure testing, blood sugar, and cholesterol testing. We're open to fill your prescriptions Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Come visit Sadhu's gas station on the Miku Highway or call us at 572-6840 or WhatsApp 461-6840 for more information. Night Meds Pharmacy. We are your community med store.
For 100 years, Metabo, made and engineered in Germany and distributed by Europa Hardware, has been at the forefront of innovation, delivering quality tools trusted by professionals worldwide. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Here's to the next 100 years of excellence. Metabo, distributed by Europa Hardware, building our world together. For the month of June, get an automatic discount when you purchase any Metabo machine. Come to Europa first. We service what we sell.
Get your accommodation ready for the event season. Jazz, T20 cricket, and of course, St. Lucia Carnival with hot showers powered by a tropical solar water heater. We offer a variety of sizes for any house, apartment, or hotel, and efficient installation within 24 to 48 hours of purchase. Call us today to find out what specials we have in store for you. With 3 convenient locations in Beaufort, 454-6344, Castries, 453-1868, or Grosley, 450-8201. Tropical Solar, good for the environment, good for you.
The Royal St. Lucia Police and Allied Services Credit Union Limited wishes to inform its esteemed members of its 50th annual general meeting on Thursday, June the 6th, 2024 at 10 a.m. at the Financial Administrative Building, Point Seraphin, Castries. This is under the theme, A Journey of Growth, Changes and Opportunities. The first 50 members to register in person will win a prize. Come discuss the business of your credit union. Please be punctual. The Royal St. Lucia Police Force has received numerous reports of thefts targeting local establishments. Scammers have been using a consistent method involving fraudulent checks to specifically target businesses. This activity has increased in frequency over the last 2 months. The deception? Businesses are receiving hefty orders for their products, accompanied by a proposal for payment via check by the scammer from a prominent financial institution. The customer or the scammer then insists on delivery to a remote location. The result? Having delivered the goods and upon verification, it's revealed that the check is fraudulent, resulting in substantial financial losses, and the seller is then unable to contact the customer. Consequently, the RSLPF urges all business establishments to heighten vigilance and exercise caution in such transactions. Stay alert, verify payment methods thoroughly, and consider additional security measures to safeguard your business interests. If you believe you or your business may be targets of such a crime, do not hesitate to contact the nearest police station, or alternatively, you may have to provide tips anonymously through the RSLPF crime hotline 555. And that was a public service announcement from the Royal St. Lucia Police Force. Let us continue with your calls at 452-2979, along with your WhatsApp calls and messages at 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Somebody says there via WhatsApp, workers will say they are poor. Small shop owners will talk about their bottom line. Big business will work around the problem. I think there should not be set amount for minimum wage, but something that makes reference to something else. Like the minimum wage is the same, the average price of land or lowest. Let's take a call. Good afternoon to you, Mr. Rigobert. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Good afternoon to you, sir.
Kimani, and good afternoon to listeners.
Hi, good afternoon.
Team, as you know, I'm blind, right? I cannot see.
Mm-hmm.
I never see Kimani. I don't know Kimani. I don't have a contact number for Kimani. And most time, I would give her high praises. The last time she was sick, and I called you, she was sick, and I told you, no wonder why I myself is not feeling good.
Mm.
You understand? As if there is an attachment.
Right.
And what I'm talking about, I'm just, and when I give her those praises, those niceness, I'm talking about her inner niceness. You understand?
She is a beautiful person. That's what you're saying, in effect.
Okay, if you
all
tell
round.
me, I know it. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. But I myself, I was just looking at her inner niceness. You
Right.
understand?
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I was complimenting her. And if that is an offense to her, she can almost tell me to. Okay?
It's not offensive, caller. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right, let me go. The other thing, I have problems with the water with Wasco. You understand? I have issues with the salary, what people are bringing home. But looking at 650, it might not be a lot to some people.
Mm-hmm.
But I know a young lady, I'm talking about experience, what I know. And she's going home with $500 for the month. $500 for the month. And whatsoever she wants in the gas station and whatsoever she has to buy it on her own monies. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
And if that person from 500 making 1,100 and something, to that person it means a lot. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So to some people that are already up there and going home with their how much it is, it might not look like it is a lot, but I'm saying they have to start somewhere, and if they start somewhere, then give them a chance and let us see what will happen. You know, as some people say, a half a loaf is better than none, okay? The other thing is Wasco. It was only yesterday we will get some heavy rain. And if Wasco is to pump those water down, they will be giving us dirty water. So now you'll have another complaint, and Wasco is giving us dirty water and charging us for it. You understand?
Mm.
So at least, the people have a way saying, Haïtien, Medi d'un blanc. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Let's give them a chance to see if the rain really starts, what will they do, and how will they supply us with water. Have a blessed day, my
You too, sir, and thank you so much as usual for your contribution. But I think all of us can learn from this water crisis that we are experiencing right now, and there needs to be a long-term plan. We have a habit of getting very comfortable very early, and we get complacent. As soon as there's an improvement in whatever problem that we're experiencing, we believe that we can rest on our laurels and just sit back. That is not, that should not be the case right now with the Water and Sewage Authority. and the government by extension and the water consumers in St. Lucia. We need to find a long-term solution to this problem. We have a call. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon to you, caller.
Yeah, Tim. I'm calling. I'm from St. Lucia, but I'm out of the country. Okay.
Right.
I cannot understand. It have been years I'm holding out about this minimum wage, right? And you want to tell me it's only now the government say they're gonna imply that, and it's only $6.50 an hour?
Yeah.
Tim, a bag of bread, it's like how much for a bag of bread? About what, $7, $8?
Pan loaf is about what, $7, a loaf of $7? $6.50 a pan loaf?
Yeah, what $6.50 an hour can really do? Not at least $10 an hour the government could offer to poor people? While these guys in power sitting in a chair behind a desk, not doing what they're supposed to do for the country, receiving a big salary, and poor people out here suffering, trying their best to make ends meet, and you could only offer $6.50 an hour? Is this what St. Lucia really become to?
Well, caller, people have to speak out, eh? People have to speak out. If they believe $6.50 is acceptable, they can work with it, then they accept it. But if people believe that it is not enough, then they also have a right, because that is what the commission is saying. They want to get recommendations, they want to get feedback. So there's need for solutions
it's
to give their take on it.
It's not about belief. You know, the thing is with St. Lucia, it's about which party you support. Some people feel because they support the Labour Party and the Labour Party in power, the Labour Party could do what they feel like. It's same with the UWP. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, when UWP was in power, St. Lucia was on the right track. Right now, St. Lucia is going like 50 years backwards. You know, and we as St. Lucian and people out there that from St. Lucia, you cannot give a government 5 years and expect everything to be done in 5 years. Because trust me, if I'm a supporter of the UWP, but I'm not picking side. If the UWP did get the next 5 years in power, St. Lucia would have been on the right track. That's my contribution.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Kimani, what's happening in the chat room?
In the chat room, someone says, the atheist just in his feelings today. Why can't people concentrate on the issues and compliment Kimani? Some people can chew gum and walk at the same time. Another comment, we have water on our streets, on our roof, all around us. We don't need more water from the sea. Another comment, wells are the responsibility of homeowners, not government.
Somebody says via WhatsApp, Tim, which businesses are so dumb to be delivering large orders to remote locations without verification?
Another comment, Wasco was supposed to desilt the dam. They did not do it, hence the reason there is no water. Bottom line, go desilt the dam. That was a YouTube comment. Someone says, St. Lucians cannot afford a minimum wage of $6.50 per hour because they cannot afford the survival of a family of 3 or 4. It should be no less than $8 to $10 per hour. Working for 2.5 hours to pay a gallon of gas is not cool.
We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, Tim. How are you doing?
I'm okay, caller. Good afternoon to you. Yes, sir.
Listening to... from the first time I heard this, I know it's basically they still discussing on whether they should go with that, and plus the business owners have to be involved, the private sector, whatnot. But Tim, let me tell you something. every time prices have been increased on the market, do they consult the public about it?
No, there isn't any consultation.
Do they look at what the public is making in terms of revenue? Do they look at that? No, they don't. Tim, there is a psychology in this, and I'll tell you. This government knows what they're doing. That $6.50 is non-existent, and I'll tell you why. when you already add taxes before you actually increase people's wages, how is that going to be fair to the people? It can never be fair to them, because your taxes already surpass what you increase to the people. So basically what you're doing, I know the people ought to be working to pay their own self. That's how government operates, because they never have the money. But in that sense, Tim, you already taxing the people and then taking their money to increase their wages. That is what is happening there. Marcy is prices. I mean, I was there. I saw it. It is ridiculous based on some of those items on the market. Tim, you also have to think of all the subsidies government, quote unquote, claim to be given. If you're giving all these subsidies and you're having us paying all these taxes, our money working for us? It's not working for us, Tim. Our money is not working for us. You see, a lot of the times we talk about this on a light level and we don't tend to go deep enough into it to really understand. It's all psychology, my brother. You cannot take $1 from me and give me 50 cents and telling me you're giving me a raise. You're not giving me a raise, Tim. You're still taking 50 cents from me. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
So while you keep pushing that goalpost, I will never reach it, Tim.
Yeah.
No matter how much what you do, Tim, you will still find most of the people in St. Lucia still being in the same position. And it is most. If government really wants to do something, and I'm talking about St. Lucian government, why is it they're not cutting on their salaries? That's a place to start. You're paying $43 million every month for salaries for public servants. What is really happening in those departments? They're not even functioning. Lots of wastage. If we're serious in this country, Tim, this is where we need to start. Most of these guys are making a lot of money just to keep fooling the people in the country. And it's high time we tell the people the truth and not keep playing with those politician games. Because this is a game, Tim. Look at the gas prices, for example. How much money is government collecting on an annual basis when it comes to gas? Who knows? They put out those figures. Most of the time, most St. Lucians don't even trust those figures because there's no transparency. What are these monies doing? If it's supposed to be isn't it supposed to be for the roads, Tim, collecting those gas prices, taxes?
You have $1.50 for the roads.
Exactly. Tim, there's also Wasco. And I know everybody keeps saying, give Wasco a chance, give Wasco a chance. Brother man, in 2024, we need to stop with giving these businesses a chance. When every year you have CEOs making $150,000 a year. If the company is not making money, that means the head of the company not supposed to be getting those salaries. And we have to understand that you're supposed to be giving the public a service, and government money is also involved in Wasco. This is not a private sector we're talking about, I know the government doesn't own like 100% of Wasco. However,
no, it owns 100%, caller.
I thought it was like oh no, sorry, it's managed by a board. That's what it is, right?
Yeah, owned by the government. Yeah.
But owned by the government, yes. But now, even better, Tim, even better. Who's appointing those people to manage the Wasco? You see?
What I imagine it goes through the board, but the board basically is appointed by the minister.
By the minister, and that's what I'm saying. So you still have the politicians playing their hand in those same industries. Tim, look at there is so many issues, Tim, that we can dive deep into, and you will see that most of the issues that we currently facing, it's because of the people that we keep putting to represent us, and I've told you many times, the people we have working in the public service. We have a lot of people that if they were supposed to be living in another country, they would be charged with treason. Because a lot of our people, they're not working that work in the public servant, they don't work in the interest of the country. They work in the interest of the politician. Thank you very much, Tim. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you so much for calling, sir. Once again, this is the most monitored talk show in the world, and that is NewsSpin. Talking about Wasco. You know about this water-related emergency, and there's been certain restrictions that have been imposed on you, members of the public. But many of you are not aware of those restrictions, the particulars. And I think to a certain extent, that is what an individual was highlighting when he appeared on a talk show last week, that is Newsmaker Live. And that guest was Mr. Ignatius Jean, who is the Executive Director of the Caribbean Association of Water Utility, the Caribbean Water Utility Association, that's it, CAWASA. Let's hear from Mr. Ignatius Jean.
About a week ago in Grenada, the general manager of the Grenada National Water and Sewage Authority, NAWASA, together with the head of NEMO in Grenada, the head of the Met Services, and the Commissioner of Police were on a talk show like we're having now. And they had just instituted the emergency. And one of the things was that the Commissioner of Police indicated that he would have had officers going out with NAWASA to go out in the communities to sensitize people about the restrictions and the penalties, and if they were found, as a first step. Of course, in a lot of these things, Tim, requires continuous communication. Communication is the word. We have to create awareness.
But you will agree that this is lacking in the case of St. Lucia?
Well, yeah. I'm saying it is something that is required. We have to have communication. Is not just you're going to come on the radio on a one-off. It has to be continuous. I mean, if you go to some other utilities in other countries, even like some of the other policies that we need to have in place for the longer term in terms of water conservation, is that to do with water saving devices. Similar to what is done with electricity, you have energy saving devices, your light bulbs, etc. Likewise, you probably do not need to have as 5 gallons of water to flush a toilet, right? So there has to be, these things have to be mainstreamed, as it were, and these are the kinds of considerations as we go forward, right? It cannot be one-off, and there has to be continuous education and conversation with people, with communities, throughout the education system as well, as to how to better use water.
You just heard there from the Executive Director of the Caribbean Water and Sewage Association, Mr. Ignatius Jean, speaking during an appearance on the DBS program Newsmaker Live last Wednesday. Some more of your calls at 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Kimani, the chat room, what is happening there?
Someone says, Wasco owned. Someone says, Wasco owned by the government. That's why St. Lucians are suffering so. Great caller, minimum wage of $6.50 may deceive the public. Only those self-serving politicians benefit. Another comment in the chat, someone says, let's see, a minimum or livable wage is not determined by what people like Sylvia Cadas and the business owners decide it should be. The consumer price index and the rates on inflation needs to be considered in considering the new rates.
We have a call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air. Hi, good afternoon. Hello? Hello? I think the caller is listening to the program. There's a delay, so listening to the program via a device, and definitely that is causing him or her to be confused. Let's see if the caller is still there. Hello? Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Okay, we have lost the caller. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. Any more comments, Kibani?
A few more comments in the chat. I am a moderate and I feel the minimum wage should be $8.50. Let's be fair and not greedy because we want to attract more business ventures. No one realized that Wasco declared the water emergency after Jazz. St. Lucians, wake up.
Good afternoon. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air.
Good afternoon, team.
Hi, good afternoon to you, caller. Is that Mr. Joseph?
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
good afternoon to you, sir.
So, team, a couple of issues. First of all, on the Wasco matter, and the comments made by Mr. Jean. What these things ought to be policy decisions. So, when he talks about devices, what kind of toilet bowl can you go and buy and in St. Lucia that does not use a certain amount of water? So the policy of government must be across the board in order to address these concerns. And Tim, I know people usually say, but you are in government, what did you do? We undertook a major rainwater harvesting exercise. We distributed a lot of water tanks during my period in government, to farmers, to churches, to different public communities. Even some individuals were given water tanks. And I've said that I have seen some of these water tanks that they are not even mounted as we speak today. And you'd see these water tanks with the label of Nemo on it in various communities. So it's a shared responsibility between government and individuals to take certain measures, because when you do rainwater harvesting, it solves two problems, Tim. It helps control the amount of runoff water that you have that cause damage to roads and even to landslides and things of that nature. So we need to be aware of that. We need to be aware that Wasco itself is a company that is very challenged. And as long as you continue to make the appointments at Wasco political team, you will not be able to succeed. And I challenge anybody to show that when I was minister responsible for Wasco, that I sent a single person there to get a job or to work there or to do anything at Wasco other than people who are competent. And when I say that, I never put somebody in management. You work with the people that you found there. Tim, this Labour government, you remember we used to have WASA before we had Wasco?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You remember when Labour Party came into office, said there had not been a water increase when Calix George was the minister, that they increased water by 100%, and they changed from WASA to Wasco, saying that things would improve. What has improved, Tim? Then they came in again, Labour Party came in between 2011 and 2016. And when we want to say all governments are the same, that is not the case, Tim. They came back in 2011 and again increased water by 66.5%. And they said it was for the desilting of the dam. My information as I speak, and I am subject to correction on that, Tim, but has anybody at whether the extraction point at lower depth of the dam is clear? Has it been desilted? Because I know when we started the desilting of the Roseau Dam, there are two pots for extracting water from the dam. One is at the upper point and one is lower down. Below that is what we call dead water. It is dead space. There are no extraction points down there, except if you are to drop maybe a hose and a pump or something. But there are two extraction points. One of them had been blocked after Hurricane Thomas. And remember, we lost the elections in 2011 and Labour came into office, spent 5 years, collected the 66.5%, of which 10% was going towards the desilting of the dam. Tim, that never happened. The money was collected. It had to take a UWP government coming back into office to commence the desilting of the dam. And my understanding is they have stopped that project. Now, has Wasco, when Mr. Jean said, well, information, has Wasco given us an explanation as to the water levels in the dam, the amount of gallons that we have that we can extract, the amount of desilting? Because, Tim, the silt has taken the place of the water. Where you could have sailed, where you could have gone on a small boat inside the dam and go up a mile upstream. You could not even go a quarter mile after Hurricane Thomas. And that is the desilting that was being done. So for Wasco to just come and tell us, okay, there's a water-related emergency, but have not told us that whether they stopped the desilting, whether they can actually get water from the second extraction point at the dam, is unacceptable. And that is the responsibility of the government. Tim, the board of Wasco, for them to implement a water-related emergency, must come and make a presentation to the Cabinet of Ministers. At least that's what I knew when I was there. If we wanted to implement a water-related emergency, the board of Wasco would come, or the management, they would make a presentation, they would give you the projections, we would be able to ask all the relevant questions and know the decisions that's needed to be made. But now we are just hearing things are happening, I don't know, and no minister, isn't there a minister responsible for Wasco? Why didn't he come on the program and give an explanation? Why is it Mr. Jean that have to come in and give an explanation?
Well, I invited Mr. Jean on the program. That's what happened. I invited him.
Okay, you invited him, Tim, but the minister should be calling and saying, look, given the crisis situation we have with water, and we have to be hosting World Cup, Team.
Yeah.
Is that why they were water in the Grozile field? And did anybody look into that to find out where the water was coming from? Whether it was actually water from Wasco that was used to water the playing field? But you are denying St. Lucians the right to use water. Was it water from the sewage system? At least if they give these explanations, people can make informed decisions. Now, Tim, there are two other issues I want to touch on quickly. One of them is this discussion that is going on about the lawsuit pertaining to the CIP. And it appears that there is some very damning information in this pertaining to St. Lucian conversations that had taken place. And we are now hearing out of Grenada. And why are we hearing things outside of St. Lucia pertaining to what is happening in St. Lucia? The head of CIP can go to Grenada and announce that the Prime Minister will be signing the MOU that the Europeans requested. Tim, have you gotten that as a news item from the office of the Prime Minister?
No, I haven't. I think it's the MOA.
Yeah. Okay, the MOA.
Mm.
Mm. So the MOA that they are going to sign, Tim, don't you think that at least a press release should come from the office of the Prime Minister to inform St. Lucians that given such and such, we've had discussions and we are going to sign it? But the head of CIP can feel comfortable to go to Grenada and make that announcement while we are left in the dark in St. Lucia? So is it possible, Tim, the same way that they are saying this, that they would have gone to Washington to know what the lawyers were saying, what cases they were filing? Is it possible that this happened and we don't know? Because we only have to speculate. Now, Tim, I'm going to give you something that is not speculation. And it's a challenge I'm throwing out to the government of St. Lucia. That in the agreement with GPH, that, Tim, we are only guaranteed $1 a head. $1 US. So imagine, Tim, you are making $6.50 today per head on every cruise passenger that lands in St. Lucia, or that comes, not land because planes land, that comes via a boat into St. Lucia. Tim, how could you give away $6.50 for $1? And the guarantee by GPH is that we are guaranteed 450,000 passengers a year. That is the only guarantee that they have given us. Tim, we were already at 750,000 passengers. How can any right-thinking government go and give a foreign entity $5.50 and take $1?
So you read you have the agreement in your possession, Mr. Joseph?
I don't have the agreement in my possession.
Or you read the agreement?
I read some information that I am going to share in due course, but I'm giving the government the opportunity to come out and deny that what I'm saying there. And Tim, if they want to deny, I will send you the table of calculations. The table of calculations highlight that up to $12, and after 7 years, Tim, St. Lucia will begin to get $1.50. So imagine, you would have to get to 6.5 million passengers, cruise passengers, to get the revenue that we are getting today. Now, Tim, do we have the capacity to get 6.5 million? When the agreement says in the medium term, the aim is to get to 1 million passengers. Tim, there is no more lopsided. And I can also give the list of things that GPH has committed to do in the agreement. Tim, you know I don't give information without my backing. I have my documents to back up what I'm saying. But I will give it in due course. What this government has done is betrayed the trust of the people of St. Lucia. And Tim, that is the biggest sellout of this century. That you can sell $6.50 for $1. So Tim, it's like you give your child something to go and do. And you give them $6.50 and you say, I need you to go and buy something with $6.50. And they come back with $1 for you and they said, I sold the $6.50 for $1. That is what the government has done to St. Lucia and its revenue from the port. I thank you.
Thank you so much for calling, sir. And that revelation, if you could call it that, by Mr. Joseph, Guy Joseph, has not been verified. So the onus would be on the Prime Minister, Minister for Information, Tourism, etc., to either confirm or deny what he just said there. But that remains unfounded. Okay, so we have no way of proving what Mr. Joseph just said there to be the truth. Kimani, what's happening in the chat room? By the way, I think we should take a break. A commercial break is long overdue. Still to come, who is screwing up everything? This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilex remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640. Or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
44 million fans, 11 players, 1 flow, bleeding we colors, celebrating we greatness. With every 6, every wicket, every moment of glory, we show the world what we made of. Wherever it's played, Flow is proud to be a part of it. Join We Bacchanal. Feel We Energy. This is We Game. Visit discoverflow.co. Flow, official telecom supporter of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup.
The new home of the best country music is Power 97.9 FM.
Say the stars are bound to fade.
Switch us on Join Me, DJ Jerry, this and every Thursday from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold, the best in country music.
Your bags are packed and waiting.
The new, the oldies, and the goldies. So let's make it a date, this and every Thursday with me, DJ Jerry, from 8 p.m. till midnight for Country Gold. If it's Thursday, it's Country Gold Thursday. Country Gold, only on Power 97.9 FM.
Rewarding life.
You know that feeling when you have an uncontrollable desire for fried chicken? That's the KFC. A substance that stimulates your senses to identify the aroma of a secret recipe or an extra crispy crunch from any distance. It's invisible to the naked eye, but you can feel it traveling throughout your body, taking control. All so you can enjoy a juicy bite of KFC. Ignite your senses with KFC.
For 100 years, Metabo, made and engineered in Germany and distributed by Europa Hardware, has been at the forefront of innovation, delivering quality tools trusted by professionals worldwide. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Here's to the next 100 years of excellence. Metabo, distributed by Europa Hardware, building our world together. For the month of June, get an automatic discount when you purchase any Metabo machine. Come to Europa first. We service what we sell.
Get your accommodation ready for the event season. Jazz, T20 cricket, and of course, St. Lucia Carnival with hot showers powered by a tropical solar water heater. We offer a variety of sizes for any house, apartment, or hotel, and efficient installation within 24 to 48 hours of purchase. Call us today to find out what specials we have in store for you. With 3 convenient locations in Beaufort, 454-6344, Castries, 453-1868, or Grosley, 450-8201. Tropical Solar, good for the environment, good for you.
Win a trip for 2 to Jamaica. Guinness Sounds of Greatness is back. You now have a chance to win and win big. Purchase Guinness on special at select bars and supermarkets for a chance to win a 4-day all-expense-paid trip to Jamaica. July 3rd to the 6th for Jamaica's Guinness Sounds of Greatness concert. Receive a prize card with every purchase to reveal instant prizes and to submit your entry for the grand prize. See press for details. Must be 18 and over to participate. Guinness, made of more. Drink and live responsibly. Sponsored by St. Lucia Times, Inter-Caribbean Airways, and energized by Climax.
Screwing up everything, feeling screwing up everything, feeling screwing, it's screwing, right? It's screwing up everything, feeling screwing up everything, I'm feeling screwdriver. Screwing up everything, I'm feeling screwdriver, yeah. Screwing up everything, screwdriver, mama. Screwing up everything, I'm feeling screwdriver, in your head,
And that's a well-known entertainer, performer, Kakal, screwing up everything. He said, Philip, screwing up everything. Your calls, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. Now we can return to the chat room, Kimani.
On YouTube, someone says, this message is for Lawrence Poyot. My brother, as chairman of the minimum wage committee, I suggest you go back to the drawing board and increase the minimum wage to $10. Another YouTube comment, Tim, we also have to look about the business sectors. If minimum wages go higher, most of the businesses will lay off their workers and close their business. St. Lucia is in big trouble. Another comment via YouTube. Mr. Joseph is criticizing the deal with GPH after the fact. I did not hear the voices of concern before the agreement was signed. We have been discussing GPH for a very long time. We all knew why now. Another comment. Hi Tim, if we're serious about fighting crime, then our police should by now be equipped with breathalyzers. Another comment via YouTube. Can someone tell me whether the dam had more silt than water or more water than silt?
WhatsApp message, we have to be honest. Wasco needs a lot of money to fix its problems, and the only way they can get that money is through revenue collection. At $12.21 per 1,000 gallon, that is 0.012 a gallon of water. That's below Wasco operating costs, so what do we expect? For any improvement in services and Wasco infrastructure, they need a better price.
Someone says, Tim and Kimani, I think Wasco issues should be a separate show sponsored by Wasco. Every day like that with Wasco. Someone says, it is not the best to promote internally when an entity is not profitable. The CEO has to be sourced from outside. Another comment from... let's see, $14.50 to $24.95. One time I might have the cents wrong, but that was the range for my residential rate. Wasco, too wicked.
How can you tell a man he cannot use water to wash vehicles when his car wash is his livelihood? Who's going to feed him? And that is a legitimate concern that is being raised by that contributor to the broadcast, because we have many young men who have their car wash businesses, and to impose this kind of restriction on them, basically you're saying that they cannot earn an honest living until that water-related emergency is lifted.
Very true.
And you're talking about until, I think, September of this year. So that really needs to be looked into, because you really do not want to put their livelihood in jeopardy. And, you know, those are young men. You do not want them to feel so desperate that they could go out there and get involved in illegal means of gaining money, and that could involve selling drugs, you know, breaking and entering homes and things of that nature. So you're basically robbing them of an opportunity to earn an honest living. So all those things need to be taken into consideration,
or should have been taken into consideration prior. Tim, no more games. We need some heavyweights on this most monitored show in the world. Another comment, if the trajectory continues in that manner, soon and very soon we will see large numbers of St. Lucians migrating to other countries. Come on, a minimum wage of at least $8 per hour. Government has to decide what is priority. Cut on the carnival budget, that's a start. We need to stop accepting anything. Put me in there, you will see how they can come up with the minimum wage of $8 easily. When last was an audit of valid work permits done? Governments aren't ready yet. St. Lucians need to demand more, but they are busy fighting each other.
Somebody says via WhatsApp, there is too much wastage at Wasco, too many people getting paid for doing nothing. The chairman of the Wasco board getting over $20,000 a month for doing what? I read this, but I doubt that this is true, okay? The chairman of the Wasco, he's not the executive chairman. Normally those people get a stipend, but to say and to claim that the individual is getting $20,000 a month, no. I don't think that is true at all. 452-2979, your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, and that is 716-2026. Let me see if I have another WhatsApp message to go through. Okay, all right.
In the chat, someone says, that's why Wasco is in the state it's in for years. Anything government hands are in has no progress. Wasco, water issues is simple. We need a modern solution, not temporary fixes. Need more water reservoirs to give us ease during the dry seasons.
WhatsApp message. You continuing with the same message?
Oh, no.
Okay. The commission's chairman said to put your concerns in writing, and if they need to question anything, then they will call you in to discuss. Let's see if we have another WhatsApp message there. Somebody says there, Tim, I'm in the tourism sector as a taxi driver. Am I to go meet my clients with a dirty car? Certainly you can't afford to do that because you're providing a service to your customers, and you want to ensure that they are as comfortable as possible, and that takes into consideration things relating to hygiene and cleanliness and so on. So presentation is all about ensuring that your vehicle is shining, it's clean, no offensive odor is coming from the vehicle and so on. So all those things must be taken into consideration. Another WhatsApp message, somebody says, but Tim, all business owners will do is nullify the impact of the increase by passing it on to consumers. So the persons benefiting from the minimum wage will be back at zero. So true. All right, Kibani, any more comments there?
A few more in the chat. Someone says, if $6.50 is such a livable wage and something to be proud of, why don't we have our elected representatives live on that wage for 6 months? Let's see how that plays out. A living wage is different from a minimum wage. A minimum wage is determined by the government. A living wage is determined by the employer. Another comment, but hold on, our mouthpieces are strategically placed in Grenada now. Why is news coming out of Grenada, some of these media houses in St. Lucia?
Somebody says there, please help me because I'm really lost on that minimum wage. Does that mean that an orderly will be making $6.50 an hour? What about a carpenter? Explain for me because I'm kind of dumb on that minimum wage issue. No, it's not across the board because there's some people, for example, you have laborers who might be earning something like $70 or $80 a day. You have carpenters, tradesmen and women, etc., who might be making something like $150 a day. So that does not apply to them. You're talking about ordinary people who are working in the retail sector, working in various shops, working as domestic workers. Those people whose salary is below $52 or let's say $1,126 a month. If they're making below that, then the minimum wage certainly would apply. Persons who are making, let's say, less than $52 a day, the minimum wage certainly would kick in so that they can get at least the $6.50 an hour. So people are already making more than what is being stipulated or seen as a minimum wage. They certainly would not be affected by this. It's only people who are making below. There are some people working in certain stores in St. Lucia who are not getting $6.50 an hour. Those persons would definitely benefit from that minimum wage. So an orderly might be making something like, let's say, if he or she is making more than $1,126, they will not be impacted. But if those people are getting something like $800 or $900, then the minimum wage certainly would come into the picture. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026. It's already 2 o'clock. Let me turn my attention to the question of the day. Why aren't the island's vendors taken seriously? Why aren't the island's vendors taken seriously? And maybe that's something we can discuss during the course of our program tomorrow. Because the president of the Vendors Association has some issues, some concerns with the CCC, Castries Constituencies Council. Vendors await response from the CCC on lease agreement. So that will be discussed, God willing, during the course of our NewsSpin program tomorrow. We have our NewsSpin news of the day. NewsSpin news of the day. Prime Minister Modi of India claims he has been chosen by God. Prime Minister Modi of India claims he has been chosen by God. By the way, India has a general election that's currently underway, several days, because he's talking about 1.4 billion people. So millions of people are eligible to vote, and they're casting their ballot as we speak. And finally, the name of things you probably didn't know. Kiman, let me pose a question to you before we put the graphic on screen. The day after tomorrow is called what?
The day after tomorrow?
It's called what? We know the day after tomorrow is Wednesday,
right, yeah.
but it's called what? Okay, you have
a weekday.
You have today, then you have tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow is?
No idea.
Overmorrow. So
There's no way.
Yeah, I'm telling you. The name of things you probably did not know. The day after tomorrow is called overmorrow.
So what about the day before yesterday, Tim?
The day before yesterday, I don't know. I really don't know. The day before yesterday is the day before yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah? So there's yesterday, the day before yesterday, and there's today. There is tomorrow, and the day after tomorrow is called overmorrow. Overmorrow.
So overmorrow is Wednesday.
It's Wednesday. The name of things you probably did not know. So that's our broadcast for today. We'll be back overmorrow. We'll be back on Wednesday. Overmorrow. Just kidding. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon with another edition of the most monitored talk show in the world. My name is Timothy Poleon. Goodbye.